Welcome to Vintage Shots, the Wild West, a land of legends, gunpowder, and blood. We often think of the badge as a symbol of justice, but on the frontier, that silver star was often nothing more than a legal shield for cold, hard justice. Today, we're counting down the top 10 lawmen who were even more dangerous than the outlaws they hunted. Let's dive in. Number 10. Bill Tilghman. Bill Tilghman wasn't a man of peace, he was a man of the gun. Born in Iowa, he became a hunter who claimed a staggering tally, 12,000 buffalo slaughtered in just 5 years. To the tribes of the plains, this was a declaration of starvation. In 1872, Tilghman reportedly killed 7 Cheyenne warriors in a single bloody skirmish. But Tilghman's own relationship with the law was complicated. He was nearly hanged in Colorado for murder before he ever wore a badge. By 1878, he was the deputy marshal of Dodge City. He collected more bounties than anyone, but his hands were far from clean. While enforcing the law, he was accused of selling illegal whiskey to Native Americans, running brothels, and protecting gambling dens for profit. He knew the criminal mind because he lived in that world. Even his end was a reflection of his life. In 1924, at 70, he was gunned down by a corrupt prohibition officer, a violent end for a man who used the badge as a shield for his own greed. Number 9. William Davis Allison. Dave Allison was the golden boy of Texas law enforcement with a dark, hollow center. At 27, he was already the sheriff of Midland. He was a stone-cold killer who famously hunted down the Mexican revolutionary Pascual Orozco. The press called him the most famous gunman in Texas, but behind the prestige was a man drowning in a deadly vice: gambling. Allison was a high-stakes player who couldn't handle the losses. When the money dried up, he didn't stop. He started embezzling tax funds and public money. Every time the law caught up to his financial crimes, he would simply quit, move to a new town, and get hired as a sheriff again. It was a time of no background checks, only fast guns. But his luck ran out in 1923. While waiting to testify against cattle thieves, Allison was sitting unarmed in a hotel lobby. The thieves burst in and riddled him with bullets before he could even stand. The famous gunman died without ever reaching for his holster. Number 8. Harry Wheeler. Harry Wheeler was a man who believed in order through totalitarian force. In his early days, he protected miners from corporate thugs, but power is a dangerous drug. By 1917, as the sheriff of Cochise County, he turned into a tyrant. During a massive strike, Wheeler deputized a private army of 2,000 men. He didn't come to negotiate, he brought a machine gun. At dawn, he rounded up nearly 1,200 miners, forced them into cattle cars like livestock, and dumped them in the New Mexico desert to die. It was a mass kidnapping sanctioned by a badge. Wheeler was also a man who loved to fight. He once engaged in a gunfight with a stalker named Tracy. When both ran out of ammo, Wheeler didn't give up. He started throwing rocks. He pelted his enemy until a man collapsed from his wounds. Wheeler actually shook hands with him before he died. A strange, twisted sense of honor in a very cold heart. Number 7. Heck Thomas. Henry Heck Thomas was a manhunter who lived for the thrill of the chase. He started young, serving as a messenger in the Civil War at 12 years old. By the time he reached the West, he was a hardened warrior who captured over 300 wanted men. Thomas was famous for bringing down the most feared gangs in history, the Daltons and the Doolins. In 1878, while guarding a railroad, he faced the Sam Bass gang. He was shot during the robbery, but he was too smart for them. He hid the valuables in a cold stove and filled the safe with fake packages. The outlaws left with nothing, while Thomas sat there bleeding and smiling. In 1896, he finally cornered the king of outlaws, Bill Doolin. When Doolin tried to draw, Thomas didn't hesitate. He blew him away. He was shot at least 6 times in his career, wounded, scarred,
but never broken. He was the rare lawman who lived to retire, but he left a trail of lead and bodies behind him.
Number 6. John Reynolds Hughes. John Hughes didn't choose the law chose his anger. In 1886, someone stole his horses. Most men would call for help. Hughes, he grabbed his rifle and tracked the thieves for a whole year. He followed them across state lines and through dangerous deserts until he found them in New Mexico. He didn't bring them back for trial. He killed the thieves on the spot and rode his horses home. The Texas Rangers were so impressed by his ruthless efficiency that they recruited him immediately. When his captain was murdered, Hughes went on a revenge tour along the border. He didn't stop until every single man involved was dead. He served for 28 years, a silent, deadly shadow who believed that justice was best served at the end of a barrel. He was a man who didn't talk much because his gun did all the talking for him. Number 5. John Hicks Adams. John Hicks Adams was a man driven by gold and blood. He followed the 1849 gold rush to California and stayed for the violence. As a sheriff, he was famous for capturing the notorious bandit Tiburcius Vasquez. He was a hero to the settlers, but his heart was always in the mines. He was the first white man to discover Lake Tahoe, but his obsession with gold was his death warrant. In 1878, while searching for a new strike in Arizona, he was ambushed and killed by outlaws. His killers fled to Mexico thinking they were safe from the law. They were wrong. A mysterious group of men, likely Adams's old friends and fellow lawmen, tracked them across the border and executed every single one of them. In the West, the law might stop at the border, but revenge never does. Adams lived for gold, and his friends killed for his ghost.
Number 4. John Armstrong. John Barclay Armstrong belonged to a special breed of rangers. Their policy was simple: shoot first, ask later. Shoot first, ask later. Armstrong's greatest claim to fame was catching the deadliest gunfighter of them all, John Wesley Hardin. Hardin was a psychopath who had killed men just for snoring. At the time, Armstrong was actually crippled, leaning on a cane. When he caught up with Hardin on a train, Hardin laughed. He didn't think a man with a cane was a threat. Big mistake. Armstrong dropped the cane, pulled his Colt, and killed one of Hardin's gang members instantly. Then he smashed the heavy pistol into Hardin's head, knocking him cold. Armstrong proved that a badge and a little bit of deception was deadlier than any outlaw's speed. He was a man who used his weakness to lure his enemies to their doom.
Number 3. Henry Newton Brown. Henry Newton Brown was the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. Before he wore a badge, he rode with the legendary Billy the Kid. He was a murderer and a thief who helped kill a sheriff in New Mexico. But the West was a place of reinvention. Brown moved to Kansas and became a celebrated marshal. The town was so grateful that they gave him a gold-mounted rifle as a gift. But the itch for crime never left him. In 1884, he and his deputies decided to use their badges to commit the ultimate crime. They walked into a bank in Medicine Lodge and opened fire, killing the bank president and a cashier in cold blood. The town was stunned. When the mob found out their hero was the robber, they stormed the jail. Brown tried to run, but you can't outrun a wall of lead. He was riddled with bullets before he could even reach the street. The hero was just a killer in disguise. Number 2. Frank M. Canton. Frank M. Canton was a lie from start to finish. His real name was Josiah Horner, a convicted bank robber who escaped prison. He changed his name, moved to Wyoming, and somehow got elected sheriff. He wasn't working for the people. He was the muscle for the rich cattle kings. During the Johnson County War, Canton became a cold-blooded assassin. He cornered a small rancher named Nate Champion, a man who used to be his friend. Canton didn't care.
He set his house on fire and waited outside with a rifle. When Champion finally ran out of the flames to breathe, Canton and his men shot him 28 times. Canton never faced justice. He moved to Oklahoma, became a U.S. Marshal, and even joined the Alaska Gold Rush. He spent his whole life hiding a criminal past while using the law to kill anyone who stood in his way.
Number 1. Longhair Jim Courtright, the most dangerous of them all. Longhair Jim was a showman for Buffalo Bill and the sheriff of Fort Worth, but he was also a gangster. He ran a protection racket that would make a mob boss jealous. If you owned a saloon and didn't pay Jim, your establishment would be burned, or you'd take a bullet to the head. He was the king of Fort Worth until he shaken down the wrong man. Luke Short, a renowned gambler, told Jim to go to hell. The two met on the street for a face-to-face confrontation. Jim was quick, but Luke was faster. Short blasted Jim's thumb off his gun, causing it to jam. As Jim tried to switch hands, Short sent a bullet coursing through his heart. The reign of the Longhair was over, proving that in the West there is always someone faster. The Wild West was forged in the shadows of men just like these. They were the law, but they were also a living nightmare. What are your thoughts on these figures? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, make sure to subscribe to Vintage Shots and share this story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next frontier.